Breaking news in the crypto space, we just had this 2-week stochastic RSI cross. The last time we had exactly that, Bitcoin pumped 184%. Is that about to happen again? Now, these stochastic RSI crosses typically only happen once per year. The prior one was almost a year ago. These are so rare and so powerful, but there are a couple things standing in the way that we need to get to. Let's dig into it. Time is almost up. Doors about to close. Prices about to go up. This is your last chance to finally break free from your financial worries. Normally, our comprehensive membership costs almost $7,000, but for a limited time, you can access it immediately for just $960, an incredible 86% savings. Immediately unlock live trading sessions, over 200 mini courses, weekly market reports, daily chart alerts, and a step-by-step blueprint to finally break free from your financial worries. Plus, you'll get 2 months free and 3 free trade alerts worth over $2,400. For less than $3 per day, change your whole life and your family's future. Join tons of our winning members like Pat, who is up over 50% in just 4 months. Worried about commitment? You can cancel anytime. Seats are limited and filling up fast. Don't miss out. Time is almost out. Prices about to go up. Visit CryptoCrewUniversity.com now. Clock is ticking. Here we are, Bitcoin, US dollar index. We're on the 2-week chart. Price action above, stochastic RSI down below. Now, the stochastic RSI runs from a scale of 100, which is what we are when we're up here, down to 0, which is where we're at when we're all the way down here. When we're at 0 or close to it, you want to see a stochastic RSI cross. Typically, when we're down below this level down here, right? Below this white line, you can see prices really floundering. Why? There's no momentum in the market. In a nutshell, the stochastic RSI is that injection of momentum. It typically happens when the market is very quiet, when nobody believes anymore. We have a little old stochastic RSI cross, right like we did back when we were 25,000. We sat right here in this chair. We said, look at the stochastic RSI cross. The market is going to pump. At that time, people still believed that we were going to drop below 10K. Imagine that. We were sitting around 23, 24, 25,000, and we had that cross, and we pumped from that level up almost to 74,000 with just a stochastic RSI cross. Now, did we have a crystal ball? How do we know it's going to be like that? Well, every single market cycle is the same. We have our first stochastic RSI cross on the 2-week scale every single time we're near the bottom of the market. Case in point, 2011, right near the bottom, what did we do? We had a stochastic RSI cross. We needed momentum into the market. That's what led to prices rising, right? How about bottom of the market, 2015? What did we do? Stochastic RSI cross. How about bottom of the market, 2019? What did we do? Stochastic RSI cross. Now, the stochastic RSI cross becomes official when it gets above the 20 level, something that we have highlighted here in our white line. So what you see is when prices are really floundering, we're below that level. Every single bear market, we have a stochastic RSI cross, which sets the market on fire, and that's when the market starts moving. It starts with the stochastic RSI cross on the 2-week time frame. Look no further than the 22 bottom. 22 bottom, we had a stochastic RSI cross, confirmed above the 20, and the rest is history. We had our second one of the cycle back in September 2023, and this is our third. We've already discussed in last week's video, this is likely our last stochastic RSI cross of this entire bull run, right? Now, what we also said is this could be a false signal, and in last week's video, we gave you the steps to understand if it's a false signal. But in this week's video, we are at a cross now. Has it confirmed yet? We're going to get more into that as we dig into the video. We're going to circle back to that later, but I just want to set the stage. Right now, we have a stochastic RSI cross that is hot off the press. This literally just printed, right? What you can see is our blue line is now on top. We haven't had the blue line on top in a long time for the stochastic RSI. It was way back here in January of this year. It's been a long time since our blue line was on top. Blue line on top, it means that prices rise, the momentum is in power of Bitcoin going up. When the orange line is on top, it means that there's momentum heading to the downside. Typically price falls once that happens. Plain and simple, in a nutshell, that's what this means. Now, I've shown you this many times on the weekly chart, specifically in yesterday's video, and more specifically, the past 3-4 months. Now, there is a tag team effort that I need to get to that's taking the market by storm as we speak. It's the 2-week stochastic RSI pairing with the 1-week stochastic RSI, and this is a tag team effort, and those two against the 2-month gravestone doji candle. More on that a little bit later, but things are really heating up with this tag team effort. Now, what I want you to do, remain level-headed. Nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. It's always been more risky to be out of Bitcoin than in Bitcoin. We already know that there's going to be momentum heading into the market. Just look no further than the 2-week candle that we printed, not our past one that just printed hot off the press. This is hot off the press. The one prior to that, we had already covered it here on our channel. This is a bullish hammer candle that typically is found at the bottom of downtrends and signal a trend reversal. You found one here, which is not a textbook bullish hammer, but it's very close. It has a lot of attributes of a bullish hammer, and you saw what happened to price after this. You know, we had 2, 4, 6 weeks. In the next 6 weeks, we saw prices meet our level of resistance. What we want to see this time around is the next 6 weeks break into a new all-time high. Right? We had this one print. Here we are at 2 weeks, and this is hot off the press. So we're literally just 2 weeks in. We have another month for Bitcoin to really gain some steam and try to make an all-time high. Now, in this video, I want to discuss, is something similar going to happen? Could we expect 184% gain like we did with the previous stochastic RSI cross? Let's dig into that further. If you notice, this was the second cross, right? So we've already compared our bottoms. Let's compare the first cross with other first crosses. Then we can get more information about the second cross to make more sense of what is going on. And by the way, towards the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what I believe to be happening right before our eyes. But let's break down the facts first. Time is almost up. Doors about to close, prices about to go up. This is your last chance to finally break free from your financial worries. Normally, our comprehensive membership costs almost $7,000, but for a limited time, you can access it immediately for just $960, an incredible 86% savings. Immediately unlock live trading sessions, over 200 mini courses, weekly market reports, daily chart alerts, and a step-by-step blueprint to finally break free from your financial worries. Plus, you'll get 2 months free and 3 free trade alerts worth over $2,400. For less than $3 per day, change your whole life and your family's future. Join tons of our winning members like Pat, who is up over 50% in just 4 months. Worried about commitment? You can cancel anytime. Seats are limited and filling up fast. Don't miss out. Time is almost out. Prices about to go up. Visit cryptocrewuniversity.com now. Clock is ticking. So we are looking at the first time we had a cross. So for example, 2011, we had a cross at the bottom, which we've addressed. The next and only other cross we had was here in phase 3 of the bull. Sound familiar? We're in phase 3 right now as we speak. Phase 3 of the bull was here. We saw stochastic RSI cross, and that was the last hurrah. That was the last move that Bitcoin had right before its market cycle top. Next cycle, we already covered the bottom here, and the first and only one of that entire market cycle was here when we were in phase 2, and we absolutely went parabolic. This was our most absolute textbook bull market was right here. So you may say, well, how about all of these crosses? Well, It's not irrelevant unless we have a cross below the 20 and it confirms above the 20. That makes it a legitimate, real, stochastic RSI cross, which is why we have this white line here. Now, we only had one in the first cycle in 2011. We only had one in the second cycle, one meaning outside of our bottom, right? Let's look at the next cycle. This is when things started to get a little bit chaotic and a little bit unorthodox because this was an ABC correction and because we had so much momentum into the market coming out of here and we still hadn't had a double bottom, which the market needs to respect market structure and have a double bottom like it does in every single cycle. So we shot up too high, too quick, wasn't sustainable, and then we actually dropped all the way down. People will blame it on COVID, but the market hadn't double bottomed yet. It's plain and simple. And when we got down there, we had these huge wicks that told us, hey, wake the hell up. We're about to have a lot of momentum to the upside. And that's exactly what we did. In fact, if you put this on a 2-month time frame instead of a 2-week, you can see what we printed in that time period was pretty heavy Dragonfly doji vibes. Take a look right here. This is what we covered during COVID when everyone's like, oh my God, the world's over, everything is shut down, and I'm sitting here screaming that Bitcoin's about to have a ridiculous rally, and everyone's like, Steve, you belong in the mental hospital, you've been right a lot, but you are absolutely ludicrous with your thought process. And I showed you this candle right here. Men lie, women lie, the charts don't lie. There was a huge Dragonfly doji, which by definition you can find at the bottoms of downtrend, which by definition have a thin body at the top and a long lower wick. I didn't care about COVID and all of the news events and all that nonsense. It belongs in the trash. What I love are the charts. And the charts are undefeated, right? So when you look at it, that's the 2-month time frame. Let's jump back to the 2-week so you can see it playing out before your eyes. But as we were discussing, these wicks are no joke, right? We had that COVID period, and what we had in the market, we covered our first bottom. The first cross was here. We went up 850%. Right? We had a fake out cross first. We had our ultimate crash to our double bottom. Then we had our legitimate cross, and that was the only one that brought us from these prices of about 6,000 up to almost 70,000. And by the time we crossed back down, our first top was in. The rest was history. Then we go to our next cycle. We already had the one at the bottom. This is our first one, and this could be our last chance. As we said in last week's video, this could very well be the last chance. Now, what should people be doing now? What should we be prepared for? And more importantly, could Bitcoin see 184% rise like it did in the last one? Well, you can see from our percentage gains, right? We had a 500% in 2011, 500% at the bottom, 1200% at the top. Then we go to the next cycle, 2015. 380% at the bottom, 3,100% at the top. Then we go to our next cycle, 300 at the bottom, 850 at the top. You start seeing a pattern. Do you see what I'm seeing here? Then you go to the next cycle, 80 at the bottom and 184 at that second one. So what you can see right in front of you is each bottom is having less power. Meaning that cross we have at the bottom, it started out with 500%, then it went to 380, then it went to 300, then it went to 80. You go to that first cross, all the first crosses are highlighted right here. First cross, 1,200%, then 3,001, then 850, then 184. So what you start to see is the 5.3 theory playing out right before your eyes. Each cycle is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And a lot of people will still try to debate that, but it's not debatable. These are just facts. Everything I've stated is a pure fact. I haven't given any opinions yet. This is just what the charts are saying and what actual math is saying and numbers. We can't debate math and numbers and facts in the charts. We can't debate that. So what I'm saying to you is this. If we expect Bitcoin to see another 184%, it's not quite logical, right? It wouldn't be quite logical. Now, is it possible? Sure. But what is realistic and what is possible and what is probable are three very different things. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Probably not. Just stating the facts, right? Just looking at what we've seen over 14-year history, right? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, what could we expect with this? Well, we expect fireworks to happen and there to be an absolute tag team battle between the 2-week stochastic RSI pairing with the 1-week stochastic RSI and a tag team effort of those two versus the 2-month gravestone doji. That is the battle. That is the battle we've been waiting months for, and it's happening right before our eyes. Now, simply put, what would people typically do is it's a pretty safe bet in any bull run in history to buy at a weekly stochastic RSI cross. If you'd done that in any point in history, which it happens like clockwork about every 6 months, you would look like a superhero. Some people would buy even more when we have a 2-week cross, especially if it happens at the same time as the 1-week cross. Now, does this mean every time we have a cross, prices just go straight up? If it were that easy, everyone you know would be a millionaire. Not everyone you know is a millionaire. It's not that simple. Sometimes we have fakeouts, like we had in our previous cross, right? We had a cross here, we rallied up, it turned out into a fake out, we came back down, and then we had our real one. For people who are patient, they don't care about these little moves. They're in crypto for 5-6 years. They have that philosophy. They understand it's more risky to be out than in. They buy and they relax. They're not in, out, in, out. That's what the media wants you to believe is the path to success. It's actually the opposite. That's the path to failure. You want to trade less. You want to trade with more conviction. You want to maximize your upside and you want to minimize your downside. And the way to do that is to follow an absolute strategy that's proven to win and don't veer from the strategy. But plain and simple, you need to trade a lot less. Let's be honest. That's what you need to do. So as we sit here, we have the weekly stochastic RSI gaining momentum. We have the 2-week stochastic RSI, which hasn't confirmed yet, but it's getting very, very close. All right. And what we see on our hands is momentum's going to head into the market and Bitcoin has to create an all-time high. And then it needs to respect structure. And then we need to look for potential bearish divergence playing out. And Bitcoin needs to avoid that bearish divergence to really excel in phase 4 of the bull. Or there won't be a phase 4 of the bull. Plain and simple. So that's what's on our hands now. So what you should be doing as we speak is paying attention to if this confirms and watching that fight play out between the 1-week stochastic RSI and the 2-week stochastic RSI. And it's going up against the gravestone doji, which is right here, 2-month time frame, huge upper wick, thin little body, holding resistance, telling us what is potentially to come. The 2-month time frame doesn't look at the daily or the weekly or the 2-week. It plays the month to month to month, and it looks at that time frame. So anything in between there is completely irrelevant to the 2-month chart. So nothing has changed the past few weeks. We're still range bound at between 150 days. We've got these tag team efforts happening right before our eyes and things are heating up. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Josh says, Steve's courses in FFA have transformed my trading in just a few weeks. Peter says, you changed my life. JW said, don't be stupid, sign up. If I can make 16 times my money, you can for sure. When Lambo said, joining the FFA was the best decision of my life. I want to help transform your life next. Join our exclusive community, limited time only, CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Is my yearly plan too much? Not to worry. We have a cheaper monthly price. Check it out now, CryptoCrewUniversity.com.